We're doing now Be'ez Hashem Yisborach Yerushalmi Peah Daf Chav Zayin. It's Peah Gimel, very close to Halacha base, a little bit before Halacha base. It says in our Mishna, the Chomim agree to Rabbi Akiva if you sow dill or mustard. This is what the Mishnah means. This is just explanation. The Mishnah doesn't mean Shabbos and Chardal. Shabbos in 3 places or Chardal in 3 places, you need to give Peah from each one. Because each patch gets done at a different time. So you cut it in a different time. That's why you need to give Peah from each one. So if it's a type of grain that usually you don't make arugas, so we say it's considered like one thing, but this is the way it's done. You make small patches of this type of spice. According to Shmuel, it says that when it gets ripe, so in theory each stalk can get ripe at different time. So I guess you need to separate from each stalk. You take off and you leave over a drop. According to him, it's not the point because they get ripe. That's not the point. The point is because each patch is usually, the way it works is that it's done with separate patches. So that's why each patch deserves a separate Peah. Now go to our Mishnah that we had already before. He takes off some unripe onions, green onions, to sell in the market, and then he wants to leave over some of them to become dry and ripe onions, and that's like that we eat today. They sell in the store is yaveshim, and then you make a pile from them. So do two separate things. It's like 2 separate kinds. It tastes differently. So you give Peah for each. The same applies to beans, and the same applies to kerem. So it means probably by beans there's also unripe green beans that usually they sell it in the frozen section of a grocery store. Or you can buy sometimes in pods that are still green. And the wine also, you can sell some grapes that you sell in the market, and then you can take wine and make them and press them for wine. So it's considered 2 kinds. The grape that you use to sell in the marketplace is considered a separate kind of the one that you make wine. Hamedel, noisim na mashayam amashashir. Person that takes off, medel means he thins out. Sometimes there's too much and you need to thin out, so he needs to leave over Peah only from the things that is left over, because whatever is thinned out is not really considered a Katzir. So he does not need to give Peah on that part that he just plucked out to thin it out. However, if he takes off from one Indian, it means he's not here to thin it out. He's just taking off, but he does do it in one time. He takes off here, takes off there, but really it's all the same idea. It's all harvesting your crop. There needs to give from what's left over upon everything, because even though he did it in the same time, he did some way earlier, he needs to take in consideration to give the Peah for all the things that he picked. Tana, Hameirag Chai v'tchilasav Chai b'soifei. What does it mean, meirag? Ve'edinu meirig. What is called meirig? Omer b'yemei kadod tanina machlik b'tzolom b'shuk k'ayim v'eshel agoyin. It's the same. It's just a fancy language. I guess it can be used by other vegetables also. You can take off some of them in a certain stage of green, and that you sell it in the market because you can't keep it for long-term storage. And then you leave over till they get really dry, and you make a pile of them, and you store them. This is called merak. Two kinds of harvesting. This is a short, even though it's only one. It's a short daf. I think let's continue a little bit because this is connected with this. Omri Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi said like this: Hadayin Kitzcha. It's a certain kind of onion. Kad adzaralai I ovid botzel dakik. Kad at shasel la u ovid botzel rav. So the way it worked was, they replanted it. First they planted it in one area, and then they took it out, and then they replanted it somewhere else, and then it became a huge bulb. The question is, so okay, so this sugya here is talking about a thing that's not meant for, you cannot store it. You cannot not store it. This bottle kad adzorala who ovid bottle dakik, and that is like a seed. You use that tiny bulb and then you replant it. So the question is, it's not chayav peah because it's not meant to be eaten. So the Gemara says, the lochein man amar hul is riyah pater v'napeyah. What do you mean to say that it's pater? It's also you plant it. This kind, when you do this type of planting, so at the first stage, you use it almost only for replanting. So Rabbi Yirmiyah says it's potter. That's Rabbi Yirmiyah's shitta. The Gemara asks that Rabbi Yasa Yarek Chai Peah. This is it's a tiny vegetable. It's Yarek. When it's in that stage, it's like a green, small, like a scallion. And it's not mechanical lekiyim. Mina mechanical lekiyim. Since after the second stage, it gets big bulbs. Then it's mechanical lekiyim. So Rabbi Yasa holds it's chayav b'peah. Ma avla Rabbi Yirmiyah. Mishna seinu the mechayav b'tzolam lachem l'shuk. Mishna says that it's chayav. By Rabbi Yirmiyah it says potter. Gomerhu ein mechusar el yabish. It's different. Mishna talks when it's already fully grown. It's just not dried up. So in theory you could dry it. Just the guy is not interested to do it. But this case of the botzel dakik, you actually do not let it grow mature fully, and that's why Yirmiyah says it's potter, and because it's ein mechnisa lekiyim, it's not in this type of it's not ready. It's not even. It's very tiny, very thin. Tona. Leket Katzircha. Okay, this is a new sugya. V'lo leket Kituf. Rabbi Ira Rabbi Chiya b'shem Rabbi Yochanan. Another din. It's only you cut with a regular sickle, but not if you just chop off with your hands. Rabbi Ira Rabbi Chiya b'shem Yochanan. Leket shibalim nisasa. I feel the kol no matter how much he takes off, potem and Peah. He doesn't need to leave over Peah from that. Even if he does it with a sickle, if he's not making a regular goyren, like a normal way of cutting tavua, it's doing something not ordinary. He just takes off some wheat stalks and he uses it to make a dough. With his hand, he takes off the chaff and the husk. So it's not. He doesn't do the regular process. But this thing only if he actually leaves over some normal. So when we say here patam and Peah means right now he does not leave over Peah because he's still gonna finish the whole harvest. Right now he just takes whatever he wants, and that's. But it's only if he leaves over some normal tavua that he's going to harvest in the normal way. Vatana, it's a similar. We learned like this. He does something not a normal way, like you take the grapes and you press it. He just eats them like a nash, eats some grapes. Rabbi Yudin kan begemuris, kan she'en gemuris. Also, he's asking a question. So what is he asking? V'itana that patem na pertem na Peah na shikha. It seems even if he did not leave over anything, it's potter. Rabbi Yudin kan begemuris, kan she'en gemuris. What is he answering? Kan shibalim v'hu sheshir begemuris. That he takes off ready shibalim. Then we say you have to eventually give Peah. So okay, you're gonna give later, no problem. But here he takes off the grape before they're totally done. Then he doesn't need to give Peah at all. That's what the answer of Rabbi Yudin. Rabbi Yasa, no. Afila tema, even if you would say Afila tema kam begemuris, kam she'en gemuris, kan k'shebikesh la'achlam an-novim, v'am ha'achik k'shebikesh la'soisam isa. So if he's going to eat them as they're grapes, then it's potter afila lo Shiur. V'am ha'achik k'shebikesh la'soisam isa. Then we say you're planning to make a dough, okay, but you need to leave over and then give Peah from the rest. So that's the point, is if he's planning, according to Rabbi Yasa, if he's planning to eat them it's not depends on the level of ripeness. It depends how you're going to eat it, how you consume it. If you eat it as grapes, that's not the normal way of using grapes. You're supposed to make wine out of them. So then you potter even lo Shiur. Even if you did not leave over anything, you're not going to end the harvest. You do everything you're going to harvest as grapes. So you're not going to leave over Peah at all? No problem. But if you are using these melila, these shibalim to make it isa, so you are using it So we say, okay, you don't need to give Peah right now. That's what it says before. You don't need to give Peah when you take off Potem and Peah. But Shiur, when it's your Potem and Peah, you don't need to leave it over right now from this actual harvest. From this, right now, picking whatever you're picking now, you don't need to worry about Peah. You can give it in the future when you're gonna finish the rest of the harvest, because you cannot be exempt totally. Why not? Why can't you be exempt totally? Because you are using this in a normal fashion. You're making bread out of this shibolim that you're picking. That's Reb Yas's Svara. So now we finished Daf Chov Zayin and Daf Chov Ches. Be'ez Hashem Yisborach, Chov Zayin and Chov Ches.